Most of the time, it was usually for our own good, but it looked like I kept this aside. This was because of my own style of doing things. So I had to cut down on that, and I realized that, oh, hi there, welcome to Young Wives Club. Okay, we'll be continuing our series on the struggles in marriage for the first second year. Okay, now in the first episode, I dwelt on the area of devotion, early morning devotions, and how we were able to work our way around it, creating schedules or a time frame that works for both of us. And then, secondly, on the aspect of dependence, all right, trying to depend more on my husband as the head. I mentioned how I'd like to not to have money gets to a red alert state before I do something about it. Now, there's something I failed to mention. Then this made me most of the time I could have some funds kept aside so that in case there's any period of time where there's everywhere is dry, I would have something to say, okay, this is what we have, this is what's available. And to almost be like, wow, so this was kept aside. Most of the time, it was usually for our own good, but it looked like I kept this aside. This was because of my own style of doing things. So I had to cut down on that, and I realized that, oh, wait, I had to let him know that, hey, this is how I like it to work, and how I've been working around the area of finance personally. And then if we could adopt that we keep this aside. Not saying he does not save, he does, but that's not knowing that there's something available somewhere. Then all of a sudden, oh, we don't have anything as it is now. Then you're able to say, okay, look here, there's something here for us, and then everybody's supposed to say, hoorah, hoorah, hoorah. And be excited about it. Instead of it turning out that way, it was almost like, so there's something somewhere, like really. So I realized that, okay, this may not fly, or it may not really fly as expected. Anyways, now moving on to today's discussion. Quite funny, but it has to do with the timing of breakfast. Like, I grew up where we had breakfast very early in the morning, as early as 7, 8 a.m. We have had breakfast, our bread and tea, like, so we are used to it, we grew up into it. Most of the times when we have breakfast late is on Saturdays, and that's now towards 9, even at around 9, everybody's already cranky, like hungry, cranky. And then Sundays too, we had breakfast before we go to church, except my dad, who usually waits until he gets back from church before he has his meal. So we grew up that way. Now my husband, completely different. Like, I got in, and then I'll be so much in a haste to make breakfast very early and all. And then, okay, where most of us were told that, good, it's good, or rather during counseling, maybe parental counseling or church counseling, whatever counseling of relatives and all, always try to eat together and all. So that eating together, he later told me that to a great extent, sometimes it's around 12 before he has his breakfast. Like, he's not used to having early morning breakfast. I was like, wow. Then sometimes I'll make dice fruits, dice all of the, place them in the fridge, serve them out in bowls. And then when it was a struggle for him to adjust to having breakfast that early in the morning. And I felt, but you're supposed to have something in the morning. And then Sundays, he did not believe in having breakfast on Sunday before going to church. You go to church, when you come back, before you eat. So it was okay, all right. As it is right now, sometimes breakfast he gets to eat breakfast sometimes 9 past 9. Although he adjusted along the line, adjusted to eating early, but now myself, it has become quite okay. I'll prepare at least for I can do other things before breakfast, so it wasn't a major concern because of his style. And then we have rubbed off on each other, and right now breakfast can be served early or it can be served later on, but we'll have breakfast without having the squabble of early or not early. That's point number 1 for today. Now the next one has to do with timing for going to church. That's timing for church. Now most couple is usually, the woman is always dragging to get set on time to get them moving to church. It's usually that way. Oh, get fast. Now, in the case of my husband, at that first year, he is of the notion that you should be in church way before service starts so that you prepare your spirit man is prepared for what you're going to receive. Like, it's not about being on time, it's about being there before time. So way before time, we should already be seated in church before it kicks off. Like, so it's got and I am actually a punctual person when it comes to being on time for activities or schedule, whatever it may be. I like to be on time. So this was now an extra. I said it's fine that we are there on time, but being there before time and reminiscing, aside the fact of being in a unit or a service unit or department where you go to prep. No, this one had to do with even just going to sit and wait. Midweek services, let's sit and wait and prepare ourselves for the service. So I was like, wow. So it was more as if I was the one delaying, like I was delaying because I was not after being late. I know it wasn't an issue of being late, it was an issue of being there before time, not there on time. So over time, we have grown to understand that, okay, I had to adjust. There were times that I went before service with him, we sat down and waited for a while before service commenced. He finds it very cool to sit down, pray, meditate. Why myself is like, wow, can walk in when prayers are, they just kicked off prayers have started and all that. But now I can be there on time. Then maybe if it's not around or on ground, I can go at the time frame that's cool for me. So with these 2 points, I think we're moving on to in our third video where we discuss the third other aspects of the struggle with marriage. I hope you have learned something so far. So try to observe and know those things that maybe causes hiccup. It may not even be causing hiccup, but it may just be, okay, this thing, and then just look for a way around it. So if it's you nagging at it or being upset about it, you find a way of working it out and then moving forward and enjoying yourselves as a family. So some of these things are no more squibbles or struggles. No, they are no longer struggles, but they were a concern then. All right, I hope this helps you. Catch you soon. Bye.